Hey, what's going on, guys? So I know I don't usually put videos up like this on the channel where I'm just kind of sitting here talking to you guys, but I figured I'd take a couple minutes today to discuss the new trailer slash info drop that we just got for Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor DLC, which was just revealed today to be dropping on June 17th, so a little over 2 weeks from now. Basically just gave us a little taste of what we're getting in the DLC, plus a lot of information about some of the new Pokemon and returning Pokemon that are coming back with said DLC. And some of the stuff we got today is crazy, guys. Like, we got a lot of neat information that is going to be pertaining to these new Pokemon, the new Galarian forms, and just some very interesting information in general. But I guess I'll just go down the list here. I'm kind of just looking at the Pokemon website here, just the new like drop page for all the newly discovered Pokemon that were revealed. Well, I mean, we've seen these Pokemon before, like Cubfu, Urshifu, Calyrex, and Gigantamax and stuff, and all like the new Regis and birds and stuff. But we've already seen all of this before, but we never really had any information until now. And I kind of just wanted to go through everything and just sort of give my thoughts, and I guess not really a reaction because I've already seen this stuff, but just sort of give my thoughts because there's a lot of cool stuff to go over. So I guess we'll just go over Calyrex first because there's really not much to say. I mean, this Pokemon has just been teased to us so far, just kind of seen in the trailers. Not really much we know about it yet. It's probably going to be a mythical Pokemon, even though it's listed under legendary Pokemon, but it looks like it's going to be something like a mythical Pokemon. It's got Psychic Grass, which is not really unique typing. I mean, it already belongs to Celebi, so this thing is basically big-headed Celebi. He's a king Pokemon, so boy's the short king over here, but he's got an ability, a nerve. It's not super mid in my opinion, but I mean, there's really not much we know about this guy yet, so maybe he'll get like a cool signature move on something. Figured I'd go over him first just because there's not really much to say about him at this current moment, so we're just gonna go back to the good stuff. So let's talk about, I guess, is there anything to talk about Cubfu? I was going to talk about Urshifu first because Urshifu is crazy. Urshifu is actually crazy. Cubfu gets inner focus, so I mean, that's neat. That's a cool ability. I'm not going to read the flavor text because you guys can read the flavor text if you want. But yeah, we got Cubfu. It's a Pokemon that's going to be given to you, I guess it's like a gift for the Isle of Armor once you get to that part where you meet your sensei, Mustard, or whatever his name is, and he's going to give you a Cubfu, and you can just train it, I guess, into whatever one you choose, I think. I don't think it's going to be like... It seems like the type of thing that would be like version exclusive, but I feel like they're going to let you like choose which one you evolve it into, because, I mean, by looking at it now, we don't really know which Urshifu is going to be better, but both of them are looking pretty nice. But so speaking of Urshifu, oh, spoil it. So, Urshifu is the evolved form of Cubfu. I don't think they've revealed how exactly it evolves yet. Probably going to be some special event within the DLC or something. They didn't really reveal a concrete evolution method, but basically you can evolve it into two forms. You got this guy over here, you got the single strike style, which is going to be a fighting dark type, and then you have on the right the rapid strike style, which is going to be fighting water. And basically the difference I think has been implied thus far about these two types is that the single strike style is going to be a more slow, bulky Urshifu that probably is going to have a more powerful attack stat just to compensate for its slow speed and increased defenses. So it's going to be kind of like the slow and bulky one. Meanwhile, the water type Urshifu is going to be the more fast sort of, I guess, glass cannon type. It's going to be like the faster, more frail. Yeah, I mean, like, that's cool, I guess. Like, like I said, we don't really know which one is going to be the better one right off the bat because, of course, we haven't seen stats yet. But, I mean, I guess the popular speculation is that the water fighting one is probably going to be the better one. But, I mean, both of them are probably still going to be ridiculous in their own right. Just because of this ability right here. Unseen Fist, which I will get to in a little bit because we got to talk about the signature move. So, Wicked Blow. Wicked Blow is going to be the single strike style Urshifu's signature move. It's a dark type move that is going to always result in a critical hit and ignore stat changes. So we got signature moves that always crit, and they ignore stat changes. That is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous signature move. And I think it's any dark type move will transform into this. I think it's the same with the water type. So water type moves, oh, sorry, I'm talking about the G-Max moves. These are just the signature moves of the Pokemon. So they get signature individual moves, and they get signature G-Max moves. But we'll get into those in a little bit. So this is going to be Surging Strikes. It's going to be pretty much the same exact sort of deal, but it's going to be a water type attack. So always results in critical hits and ignores stat changes. So that's pretty insane in its own right. Going to be able to basically tear through any Pokemon that has any sort of defense boosts and it crits. So if that wasn't already piercing any sort of defense boost, the fact that it will bypass it anyway is just an added cherry on top. So we got two crazy signature moves here. I don't know if they're like strong, then they're gonna be broken. Like if these are like strong moves, they're already pretty busted. But like if they're like actually remotely powerful in any way, then they're gonna be broken. But that's even more broken when you combine it with URSHIFU's signature ability, Unseen Fist. So this is an ability that both of them get. It is unique to URSHIFU. And basically what it does, it allows you to bypass Protect when you attack with a move that makes direct contact, which I can only assume both of these signature moves are going to do. They're going to both make direct contact, and therefore they're going to bypass moves like Protect. So that's pretty huge for like VGC, considering that Protect is probably the most common move in doubles. So if this thing is actually allowed in the video game championships, like I could see this Pokemon in either of its forms, depending on which one is better, just dominating the competitive circuit because of how, just on paper, how good this skill set is. You get a likely powerful signature attack that crits, it bypasses stat changes, and you have an ability that can just ignore Protect. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like I said, we still don't know stats yet, so we don't know which one is going to be better, but both of them right off the bat are looking pretty nice. They're looking pretty nice. And combine all of this with the Gigantamax form, which they both get, which they get their own signature G-Max moves, which the Single Strike will have the Dark-type move, any Dark-type move will transform into its signature G-Max move, and also for the Rapid Strike style, you'll have Water-type attacks that transform into the G-Max move. Basically, these are just upgraded versions of well, they're not upgraded versions of the signature moves. They're more like just compounding their ability. So how Unseen Fist can basically ignore Protect. This one, their max moves not only ignore Protect, but they go through Max Guard. Like, Max Guard is supposed to be the move that just blocks everything, right? No, these Pokemon can bypass even the highest level of protection in Max Guard. So that's already insane. So you can't even, like, you're just going to have to take a hit from this thing. Like, if you Gigantamax, if, like, your opponent Gigantamaxes this, and they attack one of your Pokemon, you're just going to have to take the hit, regardless. Like, unless you make another Pokemon take the hit, like, the Pokemon that they will target is going to always take the hit. You cannot protect yourselves from these monsters. Absolute monsters. So, like, URSHIFU looking kind of busted. We don't know yet the specifics of whether or not these will be allowed in VGC, but by the way Cubfu and URSHIFU were initially advertised, they were initially advertised like, oh, you guys can use them in ranked battles. So usually if they're allowed in ranked battles, like other gift Pokemon in the past, like Ash Greninja, for example, like they weren't really advertised like, oh, use this Pokemon in the video game championships. Like, this Pokemon was specifically advertised to be used in competitive play. So that heavily implies that it is going to be allowed. And I can see this Pokemon being an absolute menace in VGC. Like, this Pokemon is, on paper, it just looks like the VGC killer. Like, it destroys the most popular move in the game. Its signature move is crazy in that it always crits and it bypasses stat changes. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think I've exhausted my my hype for URSHIFU yet, because this Pokemon is insane. This Pokemon is actually insane. But we still got a bunch of other Pokemon to talk about. So let's move on to some of the Galarian, I guess. Well, I don't know why they put these up here. I guess the birds are in their own category. So I guess we'll just go with the Regis first. So we have Regieleki. Really upset that they didn't just call this thing Regishock, because that would make much more, I guess, phonetic sense. I don't know if that's the word I would use, but it just rolls better off the tongue. So it gets a new ability called Transistor. I don't think it explains exactly what exactly Transistor does. I think it's a new ability. But yeah, this thing looks interesting. I mean, we've already seen what it looks like, so we've already known about the Galarian Regis for a little while. So it does actually get a signature move. I actually didn't know about this, so I'm going to read it right now. In this electric type special move, the Pokemon fires furious bolts of electricity from its lower half, trapping its opponents directly below it in a cage of lightning. Thunder Cage doesn't only deal damage to its opponent when it lands, it also will cause them to be trapped within an electrified cage, causing damage every turn for 4 or 5 turns and preventing them from fleeing or being swapped out. So this is a move that not only hits Pokemon that are flying, it traps them and then also does damage. That's pretty good. That seems really good, especially if it's like strong, because usually like moves like this, like Fire Spin or Whirlpool, are usually like kind of weak. But trapping move is always nice. It's always something. That's always a good move. It's always a good quality to have a move or ability that traps Pokemon within. I mean, that's pretty much all we know about Regieleki right now, but I mean, the main thing that I'm considering about these Regis, I guess I'll talk about this when I get to the other one, which is going to be Regidrago, I don't know, Ivan Drago, Regidrago. This is the Dragon Orb Pokemon, and it has another unique ability in Dragon's Maw. It can use Dragon-type moves with greater power than other Pokemon. So does that mean that, like, Transistor and... Yeah, it says it's pretty much the same thing here. It says a pack of the greatest power used by any electric-type Pokemon. So are these just going to be abilities that just power up the typing, or moves that share the typing of the Pokemon? Because that'd be pretty cool. Like, especially if that boosts up the Electric Cage move, that'd be kind of sick. Just to have these abilities just boost the typing of whatever, like Dragon and Electric, that'd be kind of good. That'd just be a good ability in and of itself. But yeah, this is going to be the Dragon-type Regi. I think its design is pretty cool, how it's just like a big jaw with just an orb in the middle. That's kind of cool. I guess it also has a signature move called Dragon Energy. This Pokemon assumes a shape similar to a dragon's head, then fires intense dragon energy from its mouth. The more HP the user has remaining, the higher the move's base power. Ooh, so it's like Water Spout or Eruption or probably other moves that have that same effect. But I guess it will be single target though. That's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool move, especially if it's even further boosted by the ability. So, I mean, again, we don't really know the stat distributions for these guys yet, but a theory that I guess not only I have, but I guess a theory considering what we know about the Regi Pokemon so far. So basically the trend with the Regis is that they always have like base 200 in one stat, except for Registeel, which was kind of supposed to be in the middle on the defensive spectrum. So for example, Regirock has base 200 defense, Regice has base 200 special defense. So like, could they potentially give base 200 to one of these guys? Like, for example, like, what if, like, Regieleki had, like, or, like, it had, like, base 200 speed or base 200, like, attack or special attack? Electric, or Thunder Cage is a special type, or a special attack, so I'm assuming this thing will be a special attacker, along with, Dragon guy, Regidrago. So, I mean, I guess I can't give both of these things base 200 special attack, but I feel like giving base 200 to either of their offenses would be ridiculous. But, I mean, I guess it could make sense for, like, Regieleki could be, like, a fast one. I think speed is a reasonable thing to give base 200 to. It's kind of overkill, to be honest, but, like, I could see either of these Pokemon being really good depending on how their stats get distributed. So those are the two Regis. I think there's still one more that we haven't seen yet. I think they're a trio. I can't exactly remember what the other one looks like, or I didn't really find a picture of it beforehand, but I think there's a third one that we still like have no information about, because I still think they're a trio. I could be wrong about that, but I remember reading that there was one that was unnamed, so I think they're still a trio. So those are the new Regis. We'll move on. So we do get the Gigantamax version of our Galarian starters. The hidden abilities for all of them just got released on Pokemon Home, so you guys can use those and claim those today and use them in VGC. Like, actually now, since they are available, now the hidden abilities are instantly usable on the online ladder. I mean, there's not really much to say about these. I think all of them have signature max moves that are basically just more powerful than regular max moves, and also I think they ignore abilities, so kind of like Inteleon's Snipe Shot, except like on steroids. Kind of lame how they all have like the same signature effect, but I mean, it's still cool that we get Gigantamax versions of all of them. We've already seen these before. So Gmax Drum Solo, it ignores the effects of any target's ability. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the case for all of them. I mean, I guess that's cool. I mean, like, that's still a pretty handy secondary effect. So, like, Gmax Inteleon's, like, Max Geyser won't get, or whatever its max move is called, it won't get redirected. Same thing with Cinderace, won't be absorbed by, like, Flash Fire. Rillaboom won't get absorbed by, like, Sap Sipper. So that's, like, just some generic examples of why those could be useful. But, yeah, we've already seen these guys. Not really much to say about those. But Now we get to see something that we've only seen a glimpse of in the past, is we have Gigantamax Venusaur and Gigantamax Blastoise. So, I mean, to be honest, there's not really much to say about these guys either. Basically, we just got information on what their max moves do. So we have G-Max Vine Lash and whatever Blastoise is called. I'm going to pull it up right now. Or G-Max Cannonade. So Blastoise got the cannons on him, bro. You thought Mega Blastoise had the cannons? This boy got all the cannons. But basically, their max moves do pretty much the same thing as Charizard's. They basically just do damage for 4 turns to any Pokemon that isn't the type of their max move. So, for example, G-Max Wildfire didn't do damage to fire types. And so these max moves won't be doing damage to water types or grass types. So basically it's like Wildfire for grass and water types. So I guess that's pretty cool. I mean, my reservation with these is that Charizard can kind of just get away with it because its offenses are higher. So it makes Wildfire with like Sun plus Solar Power. The damage is, like, the initial damage is insane. And then the prolonged damage of the Wildfire Chip, which is like a 6th per turn, which is insane. So I still think Charizard will probably be the best when it comes to these 3 Pokemon. But I guess, like, now if you wanted to on Charizard teams in VGC, you could actually run just G-Max Venusaur because it's optimal. Like, you could just use either of them. I don't think using G-Max Venusaur is a downgrade. I think you can just slap one on your team and just have another Gigantamax option if you really wanted to. So that's pretty cool. I mean, these, like, we've already seen how good G-Max Wildfire is. Like, even before Charizard got Solar Power, like, this thing won a regional, and we saw exactly how, like, ridiculous G-Max Wildfire with the added chip damage was. So, I mean, these Pokemon will probably still be pretty good. Obviously won't impact singles too much because Smogon has banned Dynamax and Gigantamax. I mean, I guess you can use them in Ubers if you really wanted to, but, yeah, we got our Kanto starters. Pretty good G-Max moves. Not really much more to say about that. So, the next main attraction here, we've got Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. We've already seen these guys in the initial trailer for the DLC, but now we have further information about them. So, let's go through the Galarian legendary birds. So, we have Articuno here, Galarian Articuno. My boy is Psychic, Flying type, and has the ability Competitive. Competitive is an ability that when you get one of your stats lowered, it raises your special attack by 2 stages. So it's like an ability that commonly Milotic is known for, and it's a ridiculously good ability. And also Psychic Flying is a pretty good typing all around. So, like, Galarian Articuno looking kind of nice, like, especially since it doesn't have that 4 times Stealth Rock weakness anymore. Looking kind of nice, looking kind of crispy, and it also gets a signature move. All of them get signature moves. I don't know why I'm hyping it up for Articuno specifically, but they all get signature moves. Galarian Articuno's signature move is Freezing Glare. So this is going to be basically like Psychic type Ice Beam, in that it's a Psychic type attack, but it also has the chance to freeze the opponent. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool because, you know, having a chance to freeze period is broken because freeze itself is broken. So that's a pretty sick signature move to have. And you got the beams firing out of his eyes. That looks so cool. Like these like, can we just talk about like how cool all of these look? Like, these are just like all super sick designs, and I love all of them. I mean, I guess like design wise, Moltres and Zapdos are probably my favorite, but all of them are honestly super sick looking. So Articuno, really good ability, really cool signature move. I mean, like, the problem with Articuno is that actually it's not really a problem because Articuno is usually the more defensive one, and now it has an ability that can just boost its special attack by 2 stages, which is pretty insane. So Articuno definitely looking kind of nice, but then we get to Galarian Zapdos. This thing is Fighting Flying type. Everybody thought it was going to be ground, which I kind of thought it was going to be too. But it turns out it's going to be Fighting type, which is pretty cool. And it also gets access to the ability Defiant, which is basically like Competitive, except it boosts your attack by 2 stages whenever one of your stats gets lowered. Another great Intimidate countering ability on the VGC side of things. Really good. It makes Pokemon like Bisharp really good, and also the hidden ability Genies back in the day. When Tornadus and Thundurus used to get Defiant. But Defiant, super good ability. Very, very good ability. Having this thing basically not able to have its attack stat lowered by Intimidate is really, really awesome. And this thing also gets a signature move. This is called Thunderous Kick. It is going to be a fighting type physical move. It will also lower the target's defense stat. That's pretty good, considering that, like, you're basically lowering, you get a free stat lower, which will make this thing basically do more damage to it the next time you use it on a Pokemon, so that's pretty good. Yeah, like, not really much to say. Like, Thunderous Kick, pretty good signature move. Like, all these signature moves having their secondary effects, like, those secondary effects are pretty good. Not really much more you can say about that. And then I guess we'll finally move on to the final bird. We have Galarian Moltres, going to be dark flying type with the ability Berserk. Berserk is an ability that I think is unique to Drampa, but it's an ability that when your HP drops below 50%, you get a +1 special attack boost. So, I mean, I guess that's probably the worst one, but it's still not a terrible ability. But yeah, this thing also gets a signature move. It's going to be Fiery Wrath. This is a dark type special move. It also has a chance to flinch. So we all know how oppressive chances to flinch are. Probably not as... I mean, like, chances to flinch are always, like, any method you can to cheese your opponent out of not making a move is good in of itself. Super frustrating, though, but... yeah, Moltres probably is, like, objectively kind of the worst one competitively, but, I mean, we don't know that yet. I mean, Dark Flying is still a pretty good typing. I mean, if it carries Moltres' stats, Moltres is a really good special attacker, so it could still be really useful just because of its typing and its stats, but ability-wise, it definitely has the worst ability, but, I mean, Berserk is still not a bad ability at all. Like, Moltres can easily take advantage of that, probably way better than Drampa could. So, yeah, that's all three of the birds that we have so far. I mean, I guess we can assume that they will carry all of the original legendary birds' stats, so that's pretty cool. Next up, and I think this is going to be the last... Oh, no, we still have the returning boys to talk about. So we still have the new regional forms for these Galarian Slowpoke and Galarian Slowbro. So now Galarian Slowbro was revealed to be a poison psychic type, which is actually a pretty good typing. I think it's unique. I'm pretty sure that like Galarian Slowbro is the first poison psychic type Pokemon. I mean, poison psychic actually in theory sounds like a really good defensive typing because like it only has what? Because like psychic removes poison psychic weakness, and then psychic being poisoned removes Psychic's bug weakness, which is really good. So I think this thing only has weaknesses to ground, ground, ghost, dark. So I think it only has 3 weaknesses. I could be wrong about that, but that's the way it looks originally. If it actually can keep one of Slowbro's abilities too, like if it can actually get Regenerator, but I don't think it will, considering that all the new Galarian forms usually don't carry over their original form's abilities. So I don't think it's going to be able to keep Regenerator, but it does get a new signature ability, which I guess we'll get to in a second. So I guess this could turn it into the more offensive counterpart to the Slow Twins. So that sounds pretty cool. So its ability, Quick Draw. Quick Draw. Where does it say that? Where does it explain this ability? So this Pokemon's normally zoned out. Where does it explain Quick Draw? Actually, I don't think we know what Quick Draw does yet. I think we just figured out what its signature ability is going to do, or its signature move, which is going to be Shell Side Arm. Not really a tongue twister. I just had trouble saying it. So Shell Side Arm is a poison type special move in which this Pokemon fires poisonous liquid from the tip of its shelter attached to its arm. This move may poison the target. Moreover, it inflicts physical or special damage depending on which will damage the target more. So it's kind of like a Photon Geyser type effect in that, well, Photon Geyser just does more damage based on like what attack stat is better, but this one I think will calculate based on the opponent's defenses as well. I mean, it just says like which one will do more damage, so like I guess it'll calculate depending on the Pokemon's defense and special defense, which is interesting, but I mean we don't know exactly how it works yet, so I mean there's still a lot of ambiguity there. But I mean that's cool, I guess. I mean, like I don't know. I mean we don't know what the ability does yet, but I mean this move is pretty cool. It has a guaranteed chance to poison, so that's always good. So regardless of what side of the attacking spectrum you're attacking from, it's going to poison regardless. So I mean that's always a good side effect to have. But yeah, this is Galarian Slowbro. I admittedly don't really like the design for... I mean, like, Slowbro is Slowbro, but like I don't like the fact that the shelter is on his arm. I don't know. I saw this thing and I was like, really? This is what they gave Galarian Slowbro? I mean, I don't hate him, but like it's probably not my favorite Slowbro design. Not one of my favorite designs of the new ones, but it's a cool Pokemon nonetheless. I'm actually really excited to use him. Finally, we can evolve our Galarian Slowpoke. So, now to round out today's coverage, we have I mean, we already saw these, kind of, but I just kind of wanted to reiterate some of my excitement for Pokemon that are coming back. And I think we also got some information on some other Pokemon that were coming back. So for the Isle of Armor, we have Pokemon like Kingdra, Volcarona, Magnezone, Lycanroc, Zorua and Zoroark, Azurill and Azurill. I think I already said that. Azurill, Marill, and Azumarill will be coming back, and also Chansey and Blissey. I mean, people can get excited for those. I mean, Chansey coming back and Blissey coming back is obviously a big deal. Magnezone coming back is a really big deal because now we can take care of Corviknights and OU. Volcarona coming back with heavy-duty boots. This thing's going to be insane now that it doesn't have to worry about Stealth Rocks anymore. Kingdra coming back gives more Rain mode, a bit more flexibility. We also got to reveal that Politoed is coming back because I think Poliwhirl was seen in the trailer. Scyther and Scizor are coming back in the Isle of Armor, which is pretty cool. And, I mean, personally, I think I'm more excited for the Crown Tundra because we got Garchomp coming back, we got Crobat coming back, we got Metagross coming back. We got a lot of sick Pokemon coming back. And I think that with the new seasonal updates for VGC, I think, like, once these DLCs come out, like, the Pokemon that come with them will also be allowed. So, like, basically, when these DLCs drop, we're going to be getting the updated series, or whenever the series updates, we're going to be allowed to use the new Pokemon that come with the DLC. So that's going to be really cool. So it's going to be shaking up VGC a lot, like right off the bat. Like, we probably won't have to wait a year. I'm curious, like, how they're going to do that. Like, are they just going to keep updating, like, the format just to accommodate for new Pokemon to come in and just, like, not have, like, a formal transition? Like, okay, this is VGC 2021. Like, we're just going to be like, this is VGC Sword and Shield, but now we're in series whatever. Like, we're just going to keep updating the format and the games as the DLCs come out. I mean, like, I don't exactly hate that because it makes the formats a little bit more fresh, but also, like, revealing or introducing a lot of these Pokemon, especially with big tournaments coming up like Players Cup, like, just, like, dumping all of these Pokemon at once is kind of crazy for, I guess, team building and coming up with teams, because it kind of introduces a lot of new dynamics to the meta. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm just glad all these Pokemon are coming back. I'm excited for the new stuff. Hope you guys are excited too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit long, but it was just kind of me rambling about all the new stuff coming. I'm really excited for these new DLC packs. I think they're going to be really cool and really bring some cool stuff to the game. Excited to get all the legendaries back too, but I don't think we're getting those until the Crown Tundra, so I guess we'll have to wait for more information on that when the time comes. But Isle of Armor dropping June 17th, Crown Tundra dropping later this year. I think it's going to be like August or something, so we don't really have a concrete release date on that one yet. So I guess we'll have to wait for another update for when the Crown Tundra comes back. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, listening to me ramble for 25 minutes about Pokemon news. Let me know if you guys want me to do a kind of video like this more often, where I just kind of like sit here and talk about general Pokemon topics or news specifically. It's something that I've done in the past, so it's a type of content that I really like making because it just allows me to sit here and talk to you guys for a little bit and just kind of freak out about cool stuff and just talk about cool stuff. So let me know in the comments. I'm out of here. Enjoy the DLC. I'll probably be back sooner or later, but until then, see you guys in the next video.